Hey, the Whitney Library hosting its Coffee and Comics event. So what are the hot comics and what makes them so special? This is a fun time. We're going to have more coming up. And
I'm getting a little lesson here on comics and how all those worlds intertwine. So I obviously don't know my stuff when it comes to all that. But if you are into it, the Whitney Library is hosting its Coffee and Comics event, and joining us with more on what you need to know about comics and the special event, Youth Services Librarian Stephen Matview. So you were just kind of schooling me on Marvel and, what'd you say, DC?
Yeah, Marvel and DC. Yeah, Spider-Man and Superman, they both work for the newspaper, but in different universes.
In different universes. Okay, so they're all in different worlds. All right, so let's talk about this event. Obviously, you're a big fan of the comics, and you were saying that this is going to be something for adults and for kids.
Yeah, it's an event that we're doing for teens and adults, Coffee and Comics. It's basically a book club for comic book fans. It's a time for comic book fans to get together, meet new people, and sip some delicious coffee provided by Sunrise Coffee. You know, comic books, well, book clubs in general are so common for traditional novels. And my coworker Keenan and I, we wanted to do something for comic book fans, to bring together lifelong comic book fans, newcomers, and people that are interested in trying comics for the first time to come together and chat about a common interest.
So you said a lot of the kids, or the teens, I guess, are into anything that's become a movie, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Marvel stuff especially, you know, with Endgame being out and everything, those titles are really hot right now, which is really cool for me as a lifelong Marvel fan.
Okay.
You know, I wouldn't have become such a big reader or even a librarian probably if I didn't get into Marvel comics when I was a kid.
So what was big? So it's the same thing back then, right? In the comics that we're seeing now in the movies. It's all based on that, right?
Yeah, seeing all those stories be adapted into the big screen has been really cool because it brings so much attention to these characters now, more than they've had in a long time.
Didn't Walking Dead start with a comic? No?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know that show, but that's the only one I know when it comes to comics. So could this be something for people who maybe are like me and don't really know a lot about the comic world but want to know more because it's such a big deal right now?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we had a few people come to our first meeting that hadn't really read any comics but were really into things like The Walking Dead or The Umbrella Academy, you know, other things that aren't necessarily, you know, things like Walking Dead that aren't necessarily superheroes but still come from comics.
Yeah.
And, you know, even ones that came from, you know, that are superheroes, we were able to recommend titles for them to read, you know, things that they would like, because comics really encompass all genres, just like, you know, movies or novels do. Cool.
Okay, so tell everybody when and where they can go to join in.
So we're doing 2 of them this summer. We have one on June 13th at 5:30, and we're doing it again July 25th at 5:30 at the Whitney Library. We're also doing a spin-off all-ages event on July 6th called Spider-Man Saturday, where we're going to be watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Homecoming on our big concert hall screen. If anybody wants to find out more about these events, they can go to lvccld.org and click on the events tab.
And you can go to our website, news3lv.com. We'll put all that on there and link the website so people don't have to worry about writing that down. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for the lesson. Really appreciate it. Let's go over now to weather.